Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I am going to be going over what sold between May 15th and May 21st. I will start off by saying that was the slowest sales week that we've had in quite a while. While we did okay with number of sales, sale prices, I guess, just weren't too high. So our grand total of profit was $162.27, which is really bad for a whole week, I feel like. All right, I'm gonna start with Mercari, go to eBay and then Poshmark like I normally do. So this sold on Mercari. It was a new Nike men's t-shirt. I believe this was something I got from my husband and he never wore, and it sold for $20. And as you can see, lots of fees and stuff that the buyer paid on Mercari. Um, I'm very surprised. I know I've said it before that people are continuing to buy things for as high as a price on Mercari as they are, just because of all these new fees and things that they're having to pay. But that did sell for $20 minus our cost of good of 4 means we can profited 16 bucks. This sweet vintage outfit I had bought for my son, and then I just thought, you know what? Every time I put him in white, he gets it nasty and dirty and stained up. So I just kind of wanted to get rid of it before I even attempted to put him on it. I didn't want him to ruin it. It was a really cool vintage piece or vintage set. So it did sell for $32, which I was super excited for. And those were the only two Mercari sales, but that's pretty normal for Mercari. And we profited quite a bit off of those two items. So I was happy for that. That's profit of 44 bucks, which was higher than we normally get on Mercari in a week. And now we're moving on to eBay. This was included in a bunch of men's bathing suit, swim trunks or shorts that my husband and I bought about a year ago at Goodwill in their Big Bens for $2 each. Someone had donated a bunch of men's swimming shorts, so this was one of the pairs we picked up. You see that they sold for $20. However, after eBay fees, shipping, we only saw 1131 of that. So a lot of times that's what I try explaining to people is that oh, you think they sell for $20, that's awesome. But then once you get the fees and shipping taken out of that, look at how little. That's like almost half of it. Not to mention when you take out your cost of goods, you're seeing even less. My husband found this Teletubbies little stuffed toy. I think he got it out of the kids' toy bin at Goodwill. It probably was about 99 cents, $1.99, something like that. Sold it for 14.45. We had this up here for about a year. However, we did not have this cross-posted to eBay or excuse me, to Poshmark or Mercari, I don't think. Sometimes he'll randomly post hard goods onto eBay. I don't even realize it. And I just never get it cross-posted. So it sold for 14.45. We paid shipping and we got 8.25 before cost of goods taken out of that. A pair of men's cargo shorts sold for 18.70. We paid shipping. This is how much we saw before cost of goods. A men's J. Crew polo shirt. My mom just gave this to me to sell maybe 2 weeks ago, and it sold like the very week we listed it. It sold for $15. They paid shipping, which helps us out a bit. So we get 12.17 minus the cost of goods. And the way that I figure out my cost of goods, because I did say my mom gave this to me, so technically it was free. The way that I figure out cost of goods is I add up the average of what we sell. So I'll count like 0 for things that are given to me. And we do have a lot of things that are given to us either by my mom, my grandma, I don't know, like a friend or family member, or I count it as 0 if it's something that I bought years ago for myself, wore a ton, and now I'm selling it, something like that. If I bought it for my son, he wore it, I count it as 0 because we've technically already gotten our use out of that item. So 0, $2 for anything that's in the bin. I think $4, which is about what we had to pay for jeans, skirts, hanging tops at Goodwill. 5 for dresses and jackets maybe at Goodwill. And then I think that's it. Maybe $8 for like a coat or something at Goodwill. Anyway, I add up all that and then I divide that number by the total amount of prices. So like if I add up 5 numbers, I'll divide that by 5 and it comes out to about $4. So I pretty much just say that our cost of goods is $4. So even if I did get something for free, I'll still count it as a $4 cost of good, just because that's how much on average we're spending, and then I'll subtract it from this total. So I'm not actually making $12.17, I'm making $8.17 on this polo shirt. And the last thing that sold on eBay between May 15th and May 21st was this pair of American Eagle low-rise stretch kick boot jeans. These are boot cut jeans in size 8 long. That's why I picked them up. I mentioned before that I don't always get American Eagle, but if it's in a current style, which boot cut jeans are now what is currently in style more so than skinny jeans, but also when they're a unique size. So this is 8 long, which is going to be harder for people to come by pre-owned online. So I picked them up. They sold for $20, which is pretty average for American Eagle jeans for us. The buyer did pay shipping. And then after all fees were taken out, we saw $15.95 minus $4 cost of goods. So we profited almost $12 on these jeans. Not too bad. They were only listed about a week. Now we're moving over to Poshmark. This pair of Rhythm and Blues bootcut jeans, I had never heard of this brand before. I tried to run some comps, couldn't find much, couldn't find where these are sold when I looked online. But they kind of had this like contrast stitching here, which is when the stitching is lighter than the rest of the jeans, lighter than like a normal jean. Think Buckle, BKE, Miss Me jeans, things like that, Rock Revival. Um, it was that kind of style. And I thought, well, it looks similar enough to them, and they were new with tags. So the fact that they were contrast stitching, um, similar to, buckle kind of jeans, they were a good size 12, and new with tags, I wanted to take that risk. They sold on Poshmark for $30. And after Poshmark fees, we got 24 minus the $4 cost of good. We profited $20 on those. These Levi's checkerboard cropped jeans, these have been on here for a while. I think I had them up here for like a year. I did not realize when I picked them up that somebody had cropped them themselves, but I did add that to the listing. See if I can pull that up. Just pull up the picture of them. They're really cute. They have this like neat checkerboard going down the sides, but someone had cropped them themselves. I did add it to the listing, and I always provide measurements, and they sold for $19. If I'm not mistaken, I think that I actually had recently relisted these, and that might have helped in them selling. They're a size 32, sold for 19. Our earnings from Poshmark were 15.20. After cost of goods, we got 11.20. I sold this Torrid wireless bra, size 42B. I got this when I was working at Torrid, which has been 8 years ago. And I sold it for $21, earning $16.80, $12.80 after cost of goods. These Victoria's Secret athletic leggings I just bought about 2 weeks ago in the bin section of Goodwill, so $2. They had a really cool cutout mesh design at the bottom of them. They were size small, but I figured that the really pretty floral print would help pull them through. They sold for $11, earnings $8.05 minus cost of goods. We got $4 profit. Lucky Brand mid-rise straight jeans. I wouldn't say that our straight jeans do as well as our boot cut lately, but we have had a few straight cut jeans sell recently. These sold for $30, which surprised me since they were only a size 4 and since they were straight and not boot cut. And after fees and after cost of goods, we made a $20 profit on them. And the last thing that sold on Poshmark were these Day Trip Virgo bootcut low-rise jeans. Obviously, you see these have a lot of things going for them. Day Trip will do pretty well. These were bootcut, which is super on trend. They had that contrast stitching I was telling you about, and they were a size They're actually just a size 27. They sold for $21, only had them listed about a week. After fees and after cost of goods, we made 12.80, so almost $13 profit. So not too bad. But unfortunately, like I said, we only made a profit of $162 and some change during that week. So it was kind of disappointing, but it is something to be expected with summer quickly approaching. I believe this is, at least here in North Carolina, this is like a lot of kids' last week of school. So I know that there are parents that are already planning on having to pay for summer camps and summer trips and vacations and things like that, and all of the snacks and foods that kids are going to eat over summer and all of their sports activities and everything, and it can get really expensive. So it's always this time of year that sales start going down. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't happen until we were actually in June, but it is what it is. So, like I've mentioned before, we hope to get $1,000 a month in profit. Right now, we're looking at $778 that was that right? Where did I get that from? No, we're looking at, oh, I did my math wrong. We're looking at over a little over $500. So we're falling pretty short this month, and especially with only having 10 days left, we will see how it goes. Fortunately, we do have other means of making money through the month, but this is why I say I am a part-time reseller, not a full-time reseller. I spend a grand total of maybe 5 to 10 hours a week between thrifting and photographing items. I don't do the shipping. My husband does all the shipping, but it is very part-time. Of course, if we were to do this more on a full-time kind of basis, if we were to ramp up our time spent by like 3 or 4, then yeah, we probably would see a little bit of an increase in sales. But for a very, very part-time, like I said, 5 to 10 hours a week, then it's not too bad. But I hope this video was of some help. I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.